One of Baby Mouse's family photos is her poking a relative in the eye with her messy whiskers. I'm curious about who this relative is. Does Baby Mouse have a cousin? A big sister who's away at college? Is it an older version of Baby Mouse who occasionally visits with the help of a time machine? Who is it?
Argo Font Book Review. Argo Font Book Review.
Baby Mouse has a hard time at school when her locker eats her lunch and mean girl Felicia humiliates her at handball. Typical. Baby Mouse dreams about being Cinderella. When she wakes up the next day, her whiskers are gone. They're not gone, they're hiding out under her bed. They later draw a silly picture and start a food fight in the cafeteria. Those naughty whiskers. The kids at school laugh at Baby Mouse's lack of whiskers. She has a fantasy about the ancient Greek hero Jason, trying to get the golden whiskers. That's why Felicia is a half fish on the cover. She's supposed to be a siren. When I first saw that, I thought she was supposed to be a mermaid. Mermaid Baby Mouse, that could be a cool book. Now I'm wondering why there's a golden apple on the cover. That is not in the book. Next, Baby Mouse dreams of being Rapunzel. She wakes up with super long whiskers. They're so long, her brother plays jump rope with them. Her long whiskers cause lots of problems, because cleaning them takes forever, and they keep getting tangled in things. Funny how that wasn't a problem for Rapunzel in the Disney movie. She could walk around the forest and never get leaves stuck in her hair. Next, Baby Mouse dreams of being Snow White. She wakes up with perfectly straight whiskers. Everything seems great, but her friends don't really notice the difference. Her brother's upset when he can't make perfect whiskers out of pipe cleaners. Baby Mouse realizes her messy whiskers are fine, just the way they are. Felicia makes fun of Baby Mouse's whiskers. Baby Mouse challenges her to a handball game. Baby Mouse wins the game by being messy and unexpected, just like her whiskers. The end. Post-book follow-up. This is the first book in a new Baby Mouse series. There are 3 major things that differentiate it from the original Baby Mouse series. Number 1, this book is done completely in color. I think the colors are nice and work well. Honestly, Baby Mouse is now in color would have been enough to satisfy me for a new Baby Mouse series. I'm not that picky. Also, the Babysitters Club graphic novels did a now in color reboot that was very successful, so it's not without precedent. Number 2, the pages are bigger. The original books were about 5.5 inches by 7 inches. The pages in this book are closer to 8 inches by 10 inches. It's immediately noticeable that this is a much larger book. The artwork remains mostly the same. If I shrunk these pages down to match the original books, I'm sure most child readers would not notice the difference. Number 3, the page count is doubled. The original Baby Mouse books are about 100 pages long. This book is about 200 pages long, so twice as long as the original books. My wife did not like this book because of its length. She said it's not as good as the original series because it's too long. The story drags in multiple places. That strikes me as a valid criticism. There were some sequences that probably would have been trimmed or removed entirely if the authors weren't trying to hit a large page count. For example, playing handball against Felicia. It's the grand finale, important enough to be mentioned on the back cover. And yet, the gap between the 2 handball installments is about 150 pages. By the time they came back to the handball story, I had completely forgotten it was a story in this book. Another example, Baby Mouse getting things stuck in her whiskers. I think that would have been a 2-page joke in the original series, and here it's a 6-page joke. By stretching out the joke, it's a lot slower and less punchy. The same goes for some of the daydream sequences. In particular, the Cinderella daydream was a little long, and it played the story fairly straight, instead of being shorter and more joke-filled, like the other 2 Cinderella daydreams Baby Mouse has had. So I agree this book is too long, which hurts it overall. Maybe the book should have been more like 150 pages long. I felt the same way about some of the books in the Babymouse Tales from the Locker series for middle schoolers. This book is a lot closer to the original Babymouse series than the middle school series was. Babymouse is back to being in elementary school. She is not the narrator, and she has her usual fun, silly fantasies, which were absent in the middle school series. I know some people didn't think the middle school series felt like Babymouse. This book avoids that problem. It fits in perfectly with the original series and feels like a typical Babymouse book. With one exception. My wife noticed there were no references to the other Babymouse books. If you read the later Babymouse books, they have many jokes like that. In a sense, this book feels like a prequel book. It assumes you haven't read the other Babymouse books and you don't know who any of the characters are. I think it makes sense to introduce all the characters because it is the first book of a new series, but I can understand the complaint that the book overplayed the introductions when it should have hit the ground running. With all those complaints, I probably made it sound like I hated this book. No, I like this book. If you don't count the middle school series, it's been a long time since we've had a new Babymouse book. I'm glad to see Babymouse is back and just as fun as ever. I just hope future books will be more fast-paced, like the original series, and I hope this new Babymouse series is successful. Even though this is an imperfect start, I give The Big Adventures of Babymouse #1, Once Upon a Messy Whisker, an 8 out of 10.